chasing RFPs. It's really a waste of time. According to Lupio, over 60% of organizations wanted to respond to more RFPs in 2025. More proposals, more work, and more stress because everyone thinks that volume is the answer. And I'm here to tell you the complete opposite. When I first started Creative Cresco, prospects would approach me asking for help to respond to solicitations they found on SAM.gov. But every single time, it was the same exact story. There was a 2-week deadline. They had no relationships with the agency and absolutely zero intel on the competition. And their solution to this declining win rate was just to pursue more opportunities. Does this sound familiar? You're refreshing SAM.gov like an Instagram feed, spending over 60 hours on opportunities that you found last Tuesday, convincing yourself that only if I respond to more RFPs, eventually I will win. But here's the honest truth. More submissions will not fix a broken strategy. While you're planning on increasing your number of submissions this year, your competition is likely not to increase their volume at all. What they're doing instead is forming those relationships in the agency they desire before RFPs even drop. They're shaping requirements through market research, and they're also positioning themselves as the obvious choice while you're still hunting on procurement sites. So in today's video, I'm going to break down 4 strategies that you can use to change the way you think about approaching these opportunities. If you master these, you'll definitely see your win rate increase, even with submitting fewer opportunities. However, if you ignore these, you're going to be trapped in that cycle of submitting proposals with the same disappointing results. The first strategy is prioritizing market intelligence over RFP hunting. So while you're planning to submit on more opportunities this year, winning contractors are doing something a little different. Instead of constantly searching for RFPs, they're finding agencies that they really want to work with. They're doing the research on their needs and understanding them on a deeper level. Having this market intelligence is actually going to help you win more by chasing less. First, pick one agency and understand their world completely. Instead of just looking for their active opportunities, download their strategic and annual plans and also their budget justification. These documents are an easy way to determine what is keeping agency leaders up at night, what their needs are, and if your expertise aligns with their biggest challenges. If it doesn't, move on. But if it does, you found somewhere to focus. Secondly, follow their money trail. You can use websites like SAM.gov to really understand those historical spending patterns. We want to understand what they buy, when they buy it, and how much they typically spend. This isn't about finding more opportunities to chase. It's about understanding one agency holistically so we can position ourselves as that obvious choice before they even know they need us. Third, we want to map out that decision ecosystem completely. Using their directory and sites like LinkedIn, we can try to determine who's the program manager, project manager, evaluator, procurement officer, and things of that sort. Now, we don't want to focus on networking with everyone in government because that would take forever, but you definitely want to identify 5 key people who influence decisions, especially in your area of expertise. The goal here is to know one agency better than they know themselves. When you stop chasing random opportunities and start positioning yourself strategically with focused research, you'll respond to fewer RFPs, but you'll actually win more that you pursue. Once you understand that agency's world completely, strategy number 2 becomes critical, which is building those relationships before the need arrives. Most small businesses get this a little bit backwards. They tend to want to ask questions and do the networking after the RFP has dropped, which we know can be a struggle due to quiet period times. However, our strategic contractors, they're building those relationships months, sometimes years before an opportunity even drops. Relationship building works a little bit different when you're strategically focused. First thing we want to do is to show up where our target agency shows up. So we want to go to those information and industry days, but not just showing up and asking, when is the next RFP coming out? Do you need our help? But you want to come with strategic insights based on the challenges you found in doing strategy number 1. Make sure you're following agency leaders on LinkedIn and engage thoughtfully on their posts. You can also join one or two industries where your target agency people are likely to engage. Second, you want to become their trusted resource through thought leadership. So writing and sharing articles on industry trends that may affect the agency, speaking at conferences that they're likely to attend, and sharing insights on LinkedIn that truly demonstrate you understand their unique challenge. When those procurement officers see you as this trusted resource and expert, they'll move you in their minds from vendor to strategic partner. Third, deliver value before you're even asked. So you can share relevant market research and insights, connecting the agency with other experts, and also sharing valuable insights on pre-solicitation conferences. You're not giving away services for free. What you are doing is demonstrating that working with you makes things a lot easier. The target agency has RFPs in your area of expertise and they see you on the bidding list. You want their reaction to be, oh wow, thank goodness that this company is bidding, and not, who are these people again? By the time you go to submit a proposal, the relationship should already be there, as contracts go to companies that the agency trusts, not just everyone who has the lowest price. Now that you're building focused relationships, let's figure out how to leverage them. Strategy number 3 is positioning for invitation. And here's where the magic happens, because instead of your firm constantly chasing opportunities, these opportunities will find you. But you have to do these specific moves with your target agency. First, you're going to want to become the go-to expert on a specific problem. You don't want to be that company that is doing everything for everyone. Be that company that is supplying cybersecurity for healthcare companies or streamlines permit processes for clients. That way, when that target agency has that specific problem, you come to mind first. Second, you want to let your measurable results do the talking. Be sure to share your case studies that have those concrete outcomes. For example, we shaved down processing time by 40% is a lot more impactful than just saying we implemented a new system. Government decision makers care about those outcomes, and having those concrete numbers and measurable results will make you memorable when they have those specific problems. Third, we want to make sure that we're getting on the appropriate vendor list and databases. So make sure that you're researching GSA schedules for federal opportunities, but also be sure to check your state and local directories and pre-qualified vendor list. Be sure that you're submitting your capability statements when there is no pressure, no deadlines, or no other competition for attention. And that way, when these opportunities do arrive at your target agency, you're already in their system. So by doing this strategic positioning, what you're actually creating is that trusted advisor and expert status in the minds of our target agencies. So eventually they will start to reach out to you for market research. They'll start to invite you to industry days and information sessions. And most importantly, they'll ask you for your input on requirements for future solicitations. In my 10 years of doing this, I've seen clients get calls from target agencies asking, we're interested in doing this RFP. Would you like to respond? Or to even get insight into what should be included in the RFP before it's released. When you're known for solving specific problems, agencies just don't hope that you're going to respond. They actually design opportunities knowing that you'll deliver. Now, with our relationships and our positioning in place, we can do something that most contractors don't even realize is possible. Strategy number 4 is to help influence the requirements. This is a strategy that most small businesses don't even know exists, and may be the reason why they feel like they're losing to competitors that have inside information. You can influence what is asked for in the RFP. First, you want to respond to any research requests from your target agency like your contract depends on it, because quite frankly, it does. When they release new requests for information or sources sought notices, they're really asking, what should we buy and how should we buy it? So your response here doesn't just help you get noticed, but it actually helps shape the requirements. Now, if you miss this window, you may be responding to specs that favor your competition. Secondly, treat those pre-bid conferences like strategy sessions, not just information dumps. So don't just go attend and sit and take notes. Ask insightful and thoughtful questions that highlight your unique approach. Your questions here can reshape how the agency thinks about the entire procurement. Third, you want to help them define what good looks like. So you can share insights from your similar projects, industry best practices, or any innovative approaches they may not have considered. When you educate them on the possibilities, you're not just influencing the RFP, you're positioning yourself and your methodology as the standard they should expect. When you do this right, the RFP can read like it was written just for you and your company. And that's because, in a way, it kind of was. Your insights helped shape the requirements, your questions helped influence the evaluation criteria, and your expertise helped define what success should look like. So while your competitors are scrambled to respond to this RFP that they've never seen before, you're responding to it an opportunity that you literally helped create. Now, I know you may be thinking, but this is going to take too long, and I understand. Building those relationships will take you about 3 to 6 months at a minimum, but chasing RFPs, it's going to take you years to see consistent wins if you ever do. So if you're struggling on where to start, just pick out one target agency and start with one specific problem, because it's way better to dominate that niche than to be invisible everywhere. The bottom line here is that contracts go to companies that agencies know, like, and trust. You didn't start this business to be chasing random RFPs all the time. So stop chasing and start positioning. If this video changed the way that you think about pursuing opportunities, please be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. I'm here on YouTube every week with new strategies to help small businesses win the right way.